It's an easement that basically says it will remain historic.
Here we are.
But I haven't ever seen it there.
Once we're solid red, then we're good.
It's like every council meeting.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting. Today is September the 4th, 2018. The time is now 6:02. The regular meeting of the City Council will now come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, I wanted to mention something. Recently, everyone knows that we lost a great senator of this country and a hero to this country. I don't know how many of us were able to or took the time on Saturday to listen to some of the funeral that went on Saturday, some of that, but it was quite a thing to listen to, and what the man stood for, what the senator as a person, as a founding man, he really stood for something great that this country will be sorely missed. So at this point, if you would join me in just a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Bernardo?
Here.
Goodall?
Here.
Griego? Here. Lopez?
Here.
Matei?
Here.
Miles? Here. Rico?
Here. Approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes the council wants to make? Could I have a motion, please? Second.
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Bernardo?
Yes.
Goodall?
Yes.
Griego?
Yes.
Lopez?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Rico?
Yes. Do you have any policy items or staff reports? None? Petitions or communications, oral or written? Do we have anybody on file? Lisa Ortiz, please come forward. State your name, please.
Liza Ortiz.
Liza. Okay.
Hello, my name is Liza Ortiz. I am here today to ask for a letter of recommendation so I can apply for a Service Academy nomination to go to the U.S. Naval Academy, as I am now an official candidate. I am 17. I am the 17-year-old daughter of Deanna and Lori Ortiz. I am a senior at Trinidad High School. I do many extracurricular activities, including the Trinidad Police Department Explorer Program, which I am a corporal. I am the secretary of Key Club. I am a member of National Honor Society and Student Council, and I am a part of the soccer team. Now, you're probably wondering why I have chosen the Naval Academy. Well, it's because my father has dedicated himself to the Navy, and it sparked my interest at such a young age. Before I made this decision to apply, we visited the academy, and there I fell in love with the traditions, customs, and the unity that only the Navy can deliver. Now, as an official candidate, I have been invited by the Academy for a visit in mid-October. The other thing that sparked my interest was the fact that they based the degrees around engineering. After years of learning my father's trade in construction and operating heavy equipment for him, I adored the aspect of learning how things worked and the math to change it or make it better. So combining these courses of studies at the Naval Academy and my set of skills with mechanics, it's only natural that I would want to work not only for the Navy, but on the Navy. Do you guys have any questions?
We usually don't have any questions, but I will tell you this, is that we definitely, and I definitely support you. And the reason why is I had an opportunity a year and a half ago to interview 6 people that were applying for some of the academies. And, you know, you will be amongst the brightest of these students across this state. And I wish you well, and I hope that you I'm not sure if council wants to say anything, anybody in council, but I think,
Are you actually requesting a letter from city council?
Yes.
Okay, she's actually
Yeah.
requesting.
As a veteran of the United States Navy and the son of a father who was a veteran of the Navy and a stepdad and two stepbrothers, all Navy, my time in the service in the United States Navy is some of the best times of my life and the travel and experience. I hope you get accepted and good luck if you do, and you won't be sorry for picking the Navy. As far as I'm concerned, it has a special place in my heart.
Thank you.
good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Get Greg your information as to for the letters.
This is a packet containing my cover letter, resume, and the format that it is for.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Item number 5, consent agenda approval. We have an approval of the special meeting minutes of August 8, 2018, and August 28, 2018, and the regular meeting minutes of August 21st, 2018. The temporary modification of premises requested by Mont Carmel Health Wellness and Community Center at 911 Robinson Avenue. Do we have a representative here from Mont Carmel? Yes, we do. Reappointment of Tony Moderano to the Planning and Zoning and Variance Commission. Approval of the bills. Approval of payroll, August 25th, 2018 through September the 7th, 2018. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All vote, please.
Benado,
Yes.
Goodall,
Yes.
Griego,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Matei,
Yes.
Miles.
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. Item 6, public hearings. Item 6A, Space to Create Community Development Block Grant, Department of Local Affairs, Division of Housing. Hearing is now open. Do we have a staff opinion?
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Tara Marshall, Development Services Director. Last October, we applied to the Division of Housing. It's a division of the Department of Local Affairs. We applied for $600,000 in community development block grant dollars. In December, Mayor Rico and I attended the hearings for DOLA and gave testimony toward the award of the $600,000. As we're approaching the close of Space to Create, we are required to hold a public hearing because the dollars that come from the CBDG grant are used for affordable housing. So we have scheduled a public hearing for this evening. An update quickly on the Space to Create is Andrew Michelson will be here on the 18th. We will be executing the documents. We'll have them to you this next week, prior to the packet coming out, so we have plenty of time to review them. And these dollars are part of that close, part of the 17
We will
million.
have updated sources and uses.
We will have updated sources and uses. We'll be here as a work session item on the 18th.
Oh,
to go
okay,
over.
we're gonna go, all right.
Mhm, we are.
Any other questions?
No, I just realized I had a very tiny comment on the minutes, and it kind of flew by, I was still finding it when we voted. Can I just give that to Kim?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience to speak for or against the development of the block grant from the Department of Local Affairs? Not, hearing is closed. Entertain a motion for approval on that, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any additional discussion? Call vote, please.
Benado,
Yes.
Goodall,
Yes.
Griego,
Yes.
Lopez.
Yes.
Matei,
Yes.
Miles,
Yes,
Rico.
Yes. Item 6B, also public hearing item, report the Business Improvement District petition. Hearing is now open.
Mayor, members of council, Tara Marshall, Development Services Director, providing testimony on behalf of the city and the staff for the Business Improvement District. The La Puerta Development Group approached the city the first time about forming a business improvement district in April of 2017, when Mike Valentine was our interim city manager. We asked them to develop their plan further and come back with the appropriate development numbers and re-petition the city for a business improvement district at that time. The La Puerta Development Group came back this spring and entered into a pre-development agreement with the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority in March of 2018 for the purposes of negotiating a development agreement with the City of Trinidad for public funding to support the public infrastructure piece of the La Puerta project. In May of 2018, the La Puerta Development Group made a formal funding request of the City of Trinidad. That formal request included 4 different financing mechanisms, one of which was a business improvement district. In July, the La Puerta Development Group requested that City Council set the value of a bond or a cash deposit for the purposes of processing the bid petition. On Thursday, July 26, 2018, the City Council set the amount of $5,000 and requested a cash deposit for the purpose of holding in the event that the Business Improvement District did not pass. That $5,000 would defray any costs. On Monday, July 30th, the La Puerta Development Group filed the currently proposed petition to form the La Puerta Business Improvement District. On August 7th, 2018, the City Council adopted Resolution 1525, acknowledging the receipt of the petition to form the La Puerta Business Improvement District, and City Council set the public hearing for that petition to be this evening, Tuesday, September 4th, 2018 at 6 p.m. in City Council chambers in City Hall. On August 22nd, 2018, an amended petition was filed with the City Clerk's office for the formation of the La Puerta Business Improvement District. That amended petition is included in your packets this evening. The amended petition addressed an incorrect signature on the originally filed petition. This is the timeline that brought us to this evening's public hearing. We have several findings which we would like to make toward the establishment of the Business Improvement District following state statute CRS 3125-1207. Based on the Colorado Revised Statutes, the governing body, the city, holds a public hearing for the purposes of making these following findings. 1, we need to make a finding based on the total valuation for the assessment of real and personal property within the boundary of the proposed bid based on the Los Animas County tax rolls. City Clerk Audra Garrett will come forward and make that finding.
According to Audra Garrett, City Clerk, according to the tax rolls of the Los Animas County and Recorder's Office, the County Assessor's Office, there are 2 properties that are the subject of this bid petition. The property owned by La Puerta LLC has an actual value, according to the records, of $79,487. An assessed valuation of $23,050. That parcel number associated with those values is 10744-910. The second parcel is owned by Kip Hamden LLLP. This is the Philon Toyota of Trinidad property, parcel number 111-23500. And according to the records, it is showing an actual value of $3,857,338 and an assessed value of $1,118,630.
Okay. Council have any questions? No.
Finding number 2, 3125-1207, number 2, says the findings of the governing body upon the question of genuineness of the signatures and all matters of fact incident to such determination shall be final and conclusive. At the end of my testimony, City Attorney Les Downs will lead the applicants through 3 questions to determine the genuineness of the petition and other findings. The third finding that we want to make this evening is prior to the organization of the district, the governing body may exclude property from the service area or the boundaries of the district if it deems that such exclusion is in the best interest of the district. City staff, Mr. Sund and myself met with the developers last Monday and requested the exclusion of Marty Feeds from the boundaries of the district. In your package, you can see a letter from La Puerta LLC requesting that Marty Feeds be removed from the boundary of the Business Improvement District. Marty Feeds is a historic building and part of our downtown historic district. It is also zoned HP, whereas the other two properties within the boundary are zoned community commercial and primarily include new buildings. So at our request, they complied and removed that from the formation. So we will ask you this evening, when we get to the first reading of the ordinance, to please amend the boundary of the district to exclude Marty Feeds on first reading. Thank you.
Any questions on that time?
Okay. This evening, if the petition is found to have been duly signed and genuine, and it is in conformity with the Colorado Revised Statute, and if all the allegations in the petition are found to be true, and the types of service and improvements that the petitioners give testimony toward tonight are found to be provided, that they are within the proposed district, are those services and improvements which best satisfy the purposes set forth in Colorado Revised Statutes, then upon the closing of the hearing, it's within City's Council's discretion to create by an ordinance the first reading of the Business Improvement District. We would ask you, if you choose to adopt the ordinance on first reading, that you set the public hearing for the 18th of September. If you have any questions, then I'll turn it over to, yes.
I don't know where this comes in. I do have a comment on the petition. Where does that comment get made?
Let's make that comment to the petitioners when they come up. I'll turn it over to Mr. Downs to have the petitioners come forward and be sworn in.
I have one question. I was under the impression that also Mr. Duran was part of one of the property owners in that district.
He is
no
not.
longer?
He's not. We have received a ownership and encumbrance report from the title company. And it is part of what Mr. Downs is going to request that they give testimony to is that they own more than 50%. But Mr. Duran is no longer an owner. They have provided a deed that verifies they own it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Could we have the petitioners come forward, please? Tim, would you please swear me, please?
Now, can we have Ms. Gina Chimino also come forward, please, if we could? A majority of the members of the Congress.
Okay.
That'd be great. You two should be sufficient. Thank you.
Will you raise your hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Yes.
Good evening, I'm Tim Lamb, I'm General Counsel.
Sorry. No, just for a few moments, please.
Yes.
That's right.
And my right is Gina Chimino, and you've met her before. I'm Tim Lamb, I'm General Counsel for Kip Hamden and La Puerta LLC, who's been intimately involved in all of this, and I am most knowledgeable to answer Mr. Young's questions.
May I,
Please.
Mayor, Council members, thank you, Mr. Lamb, Ms. Chimino. I do have a couple of questions, and these are in support of your petition. If any of my questions don't make sense, or they suggest something you don't agree with, please let me know, if you would, please. And I'm going to ask these questions of both of you, if I could, because we need representations from a majority of the property owners of the entity making up the ownership. So number one, have you provided complete and accurate parcel data to include actual and assessed value of each parcel according to the county tax rules for all parcels included within the boundaries of the Business Improvement District?
Yes, we have.
Okay, thank you. And I know we already have a report from Ms. Garrett, but I needed to ask you that question to make sure. Question number two, this question is also a little bit long. Have you provided a complete and accurate ownership and encumbrance title report for each parcel included within the Business Improvement District for the purposes of verifying that as petitioners you own more than 50% of the land mass and value of the property included within the Business Improvement District?
Yes, we have.
Okay, thank you. And then the petition and the amended petition, but primarily the amended petition, filed with the City of Trinidad contains signatures. Can you attest that the signatures were made by the appropriate legal representatives of the property owners?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything further?
That's great.
Okay. Oh, one other question, and that is, the property, the land has to be zoned entirely commercial and not residential or agricultural.
Correct.
So to your information and knowledge, is that in fact the case that all of it is zoned commercial?
It is all zone commercial.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lamb, Ms. Chino, thank you. I have nothing further.
Okay. Anything that you want to add?
Do you
Patrick?
have any questions you have of us?
Let's go and start with Mr. Tate.
I'll defer.
Go ahead.
What is a timeframe that you're hoping to get this accomplished if the bid goes through this fall and gets on the ballot?
When you say if the bid goes through, it'll be set up in November. There will be an election that is run to elect the board members of the business improvement district. Again, keep in mind that everything that this business improvement district does has to be approved by all of you. So a budget will be submitted, and you'll see everything before we do it. So it'll start immediately.
Okay. And just for a hypothetical, let's say if the BID gets pushed on to the next election cycle of next November, how does that impact your timeframe?
It severely impacts our timeframe because then in essence, through this business improvement district, we are taxing ourselves. So it'll delay revenue, the flow of revenues another year, which will, cause us some heartache and some heartburn too. This is an expensive project and these revenues are important to the success.
Because from what I understand, you won't be able to start collecting on those monies from the taxes until after July of 2019.
Correct.
Correct? So I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page as you, that you're aware of that. And this is, from my understanding, basically a tool to help you go out to gain more capital from other financial resources.
Yes, this is important to lenders. They want and investors to see what we're doing and what kind of revenues we have coming in addition to our monies. So it is a tool. It's a very necessary tool.
Just want to make sure that I'm on the same
And
page.
it helps with the viability of the project. Without it, it doesn't look as good, and that's how we talk to the banks and we talk to the outside investors.
I think that's it for right now.
Good. One of the things we've talked about on council is this all come together very quickly. It seems like you've been working on it forever. As far as, financial analysis and so forth, it's fairly recent for us, and we've been concerned about gaps, and I know the gaps are being filled in, and there have been questions about guardrails, and we certainly don't want an emblem of failure, somewhere in the middle of downtown. So one of the things we talked about in the last meeting, was a special meeting, yes?
Yes.
Right, and we talked about guardrails, and guardrails are, okay, how do you prevent yourself from the whole penny in for a pound problem? And what we're told is that bonds cannot be issued, and I think that's in the legal opinion. Is it from your firm?
No,
It says
that's
that bonds
from my
cannot be issued unless pursuant to an operating budget, which must be approved by city council. And that's, I think, was an important guardrail for all of us, is that this thing looks baked and the consultants tell us that the gap doesn't exist anymore and so forth. In the petition, there's a number 7, it's on page 11 of 78. And I'd just like to ask your permission to clarify, it says, as allowed by law, the BID may issue bonds or other multiple-year financial obligations only if the BID is authorized to do so by its voters, which is not the city, but the members of the BID, in an election and its operating plan and budget. I'd just like to modify in its operating plan and budget to say, which must be approved by city council. It's an important guardrail. And it's in the opinion.
It's part of the statute.
Yeah.
So I would have to ask Rick. He's our business improvement district counsel.
Yeah, I just don't want to make it appear that we're agreeing to something that's not in the statute. I know that's far-fetched, but
Real quick, I'm Rick Cron, I'm with the law firm of Spencer Fane. I've met you all over the last meetings. You're exactly right, and adding those words approved by city council is perfectly okay. That's what the
Thank
statute
you very
requires.
much. Okay. Rusty.
I have nothing.
I just wanted to say that, I take a lot of pride in our staff and our city managers' opinion and how we work this. And just like Councilmember Michelle was talking about, there was about having these guardrails in place. And that's only just for the city's protection. And we just want to have something to hold on to that we could grasp at if something goes wrong. I just don't want to see something go wrong and then our little town just goes to pocket. So to me, if that guardrail's in place there or whatever, Tara, talking to you, out there, those guardrails are in place and stuff like that. It makes me feel a lot better. And I did have a little bit of conversation with Mr. Sun this afternoon, and like I said, it made me feel better. So good luck, and I hope
That was our
these things go well.
Yeah, please don't interpret anything in my comments, anything than wishing you the best of luck.
Right. Just to comment on what you said is, our intention is that the city has no risk whatsoever. We are trying to eliminate every bit of risk, and we think we've done that. So everything will fall back on us. We've been carrying this ourselves for everything that's been done that Mr. Chimino's wanted to do in Trinidad is he's been carrying. So we don't want the city to be at risk. We don't want you to be afraid.
Well, just like you said, you don't want them to be at risk, but if something does happen, we have a lot of people to answer to in our local community. Like I said, I'm wishing you all the best of luck, but let's see it go. We'll see.
Yes, we will. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
I have about 3 questions, 4 questions here. Well, one of them was kind of interesting to me was the, about, and Terry might clarify, you might clarify, the 3% tip may not be needed, might be able to be adjusted after a period of time, it sounds like. So I thought that was quite interesting to me and probably to all of us that read it. I thought it was very good. The other thing I was wondering is why is the Marty feed still in the scenario under capture tax increment revenues?
So Marty Feeds is we were requesting, and the petitioner has done so, to exclude it from the business improvement district. But in my opening findings, I mentioned there were 4 revenue streams. So we're asking that it be excluded from the business improvement district this evening. Our ongoing conversations as we do the development agreement will take up the other 3 revenue streams. Okay.
The other question I have is, I saw a number in here which was quite, maybe you can explain that. Those $922 million was under the 2018 value of the gap. This figure, is that correct, and for what period of time is that?
922
million? Yeah. Can anybody explain that?
Can you refer to the page that you're on there?
I don't remember the exact page, I should have wrote it.
I don't remember that number, that's how.
I don't remember that number either.
It was in there.
It was on a table.
It was on the table.
There's somebody else right beside it.
It was were you referring to the savings on the construction and hotel and the FEMA regulations and then increased?
Because it was the 2000, it goes up to 2030 and trying to find, I should have put what page that was on. Down here.
2030, is it on page 5, Mayor? It's the table for the summary of net revenues available from debt service.
No. There was a figure there of $922 million.
I don't remember that figure. Maybe 922,000. I apologize, Mayor, if you can identify the location, we can certainly follow up with any information for you.
Was the page upright or horizontal?
It was upright.
Okay. I don't know that number, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Was it in relation to a specific component of the project?
Well, it says,
costs or revenues, or?
It was under the 2018 value of the gap. I remember that. I wrote that down.
It's in the very front, it's in the introduction. or the government.
Is it part of the Anderson Analytics?
Yeah, it's right here. There's the 18.2 million, there's the gap difference.
It's 18.2 million.
18.2 million, Mayor?
No, it was 922 million. I apologize that I did not write that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't see it. And I don't remember any number such that large that we.
That would be more than the entire.
Yeah,
Yes, it would.
that's right. It's the analytics from August 30th. It's down 3/4.
Did you find it, Councilmember Goodall?
I don't remember seeing the number that large either.
You're 78 pages,
So it follows that.
You say it was on a table format?
Is it this? Oh, that's 7 months.
You said it was on tape.
No, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this is old revenue.
Right.
Here it is.
Did you find it?
Calculated returns after subsidy, about 922. Is that what you're looking at?
Well, the number says 922,000 million.
Well, that's what pages that are.
Well, that's how it's written, like, the numerical is 922,000, and it says the word million right after.
It's page 9. Page 9.
Good catch. It was in there somewhere.
Oh, it shouldn't have a million.
I would not think, I would think
No.
million would be a
It's supposed to be
typo for the
million.
record.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought you were clarifying that.
922,000, I believe. Nice catch, Mayor.
The last question I had, it says we need to appoint for a 5-member board is supposed to be appointed, other than, I guess, there's how many owners, there's 3, correct? Are listed as,
Correct, but we have, per statute, we have leased property to 5 individuals
Okay.
with our, it's off of La Puerta, and that qualifies them as
so
elections.
those are all, okay.
Yes.
Other than that, I think that's it.
I have one last question, but is the purple photo?
Not yet.
Not yet, but
Close.
we're hoping, what is today? We're hoping two weeks,
17th.
by the 17th. Yes.
Good luck.
Yes, it's,
Thanks.
if you go by there, you'll see it's almost right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience to speak for or against the Business Improvement District? Not? Hearing's closed. Could I have a motion on that, please, on the La Puerta Business Improvement District?
I move that we accept the
Mayor, it will go on to the miscellaneous business, the first reading of an ordinance. All we need at this point is just to close the public hearing.
It is. The item 8A miscellaneous business. We have first reading of an ordinance. Could I have someone to introduce, please?
I'll introduce.
Could we have the clerk read the small portion, please?
An ordinance authorizing the organization of La Puerta Business Improvement District, designating the service area of the district as a location for new business or commercial development, establishing an appointed board of directors, and placing certain restrictions and limitations on the exercise of district power prior to approval of the operating plan and budget for the district and setting a hearing date for the consideration of said ordinance. Introduced by Councilmember Miles.
Okay. And that hearing would be held September the 18th at 6 p.m.
We would ask, Mayor, when you approve this, please approve the ordinance amending the boundary to exclude Marty fees. Thank you.
I do need a motion, please.
I move that we amend the ordinance to exclude Marty fees.
Second, please.
A second.
Any further discussion? Call a vote, please.
Benado,
Yes.
Goodall,
Yes.
Griego,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Matei,
Yes.
Miles.
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. And good luck.
Thank you very much.
You still have one more here, right?
Yeah, one more hearing to go. Item 8B, consideration of bid results for project number 13-2018 ADA curb cut remediation phase 1. Please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
That award would go to MGM Excavating for $160,000. We had 3 bids that were received.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. Actually, the expenditure is, when we totaled up the numbers, it came out to $159,800, so there was a little bit of a difference there. $200, that's still $200. And as the mayor said, we did have 3 bids. They were all within about 8% of each other. We've considered it a pretty good bid after the mandatory walkthrough. This is part of the Department of Justice audit that we did. We hired Meeting the Challenge, the company that we use for all of our ADA training and all of our ADA investigation. They came down and they prioritized via location and necessity every curb cut in town. So the curb cuts before you in this project are the most viable, according to them, and the most used cuts of all. There was 37 elements, we'll call them, that's the curb cut for each corner or whatever. We've narrowed it down to 35 by combining a couple of those, and we're ready to go. Council's approval, we'll move forward.
Any further discussion? None?
Who is MGM?
Michael Marcus, excavating.
And then what's the area again that's supposed to be performed with this area?
Well, it's all over. There's over by the hospital, there's one area over there that they've determined. There's areas at the junior high B building, behind the high school, on Hillside Park. I mean, there's.
That's sporadic throughout the entire
Yes,
city?
yeah, there are various places around town.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like another area, like when we did the historic loop.
No, this is 35 corners, if you will.
Based on need.
Based on need, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, throughout town. Most of them around the schools. Eckhart is heavily into it. Let's see, that'd be Washington and Pierce, East Second and Chestnut up by the courthouse, which is part of the Second Street project. But it's the bricks end, the pipeline ends at Chestnut, so we're going to fix the curb cuts there. They're not actually curb cuts; they're more retaining walls. If you've seen those, they've got to be fixed. So those are the ones that are close to the courthouse and provide access.
Any other questions?
This, County Mayor, this doesn't include, this is just for ADA, doesn't include like for the housing and stuff, like we had an agreement?
No,
with the housing.
correct.
Like
It
that's
does not.
make curb cuts.
It's-
Have we had considered that? About the housing and stuff going with, a couple of weeks ago, we discussed,
For the Housing Authority?
right.
We are chipping away at this, so we will
Right.
probably include those requests with this.
If I may, this was all formulated before that agreement with the Housing Authority.
That's why I asked if it was separate or
Yeah,
not.
it is separate.
Any other discussion? Thank you. Call vote, please.
Benado,
Yes.
Goodall,
Yes.
Griego,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Matei,
Yes.
Miles.
Yes.
Rico.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
you didn't approve first reading of the bid ordinance, you amended the Marty feeds out of it, but you didn't consider first reading.
Yeah, he's right.
Okay, so we need to approve the amended portion, is what you're
You
saying?
need to approve first reading of the amended ordinance.
First reading, so we need to approve the first reading of the amended motion. Can I have a motion on that, please?
I so moved.
Second?
Second.
Call vote, please.
Benado,
Yes.
Goodall,
Yes.
Rigo,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Matei,
Yes.
Miles,
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. Item number 9, council reports. Mr. McKay?
Nothing to report tonight, sir, thanks.
Just a small, very small report. We finally got together with the tourism board, met here at council, did the conference room, and going forward, I think the tourism board is gonna start to work more closely with the welcome centers now. There was a meeting down there today, wasn't there?
It's delayed till tomorrow.
Oh,
Thursday
delayed till
morning.
tomorrow, or Thursday. Well, we're gonna start, tourism board's gonna start having their meetings down at the welcome center. I don't think one entity knows what the other one is doing, so they can't collaborate. So, we're on a right track.
Good.
That's it.
Post.
Just to let you know, as a reminder, Trinidad State Junior College has formed the Human Services Advisory Board. I'm actually a member of that, but it's a program that's going to incorporate a lot of interviewing skills and human services curriculum to help out people so they can get into certain fields and already have a skill set that normally you may just be thrown into the arena without, especially for like working at the detox facility, or you may just have a high school or GED kind of education, and your clinician will come in later and they only see people at a small moment when these people deal with them on a regular basis. So they are trying to enhance their curriculum at TSJC with this program, which has been spearheaded by Dr. Sue Nesbitt. So just to kind of remind you about this, they're trying to get this off the ground. If we have any staff that we feel may benefit from enhanced skill set learning, it might be something that we should be considering. Staff, you can definitely take a look into this if that's something you feel is imperative to their, personal growth and development with the city. CML, again, is having their Pueblo meeting on the 21st of September between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Again, it's a fall kind of district regional meeting.
21st.
The 21st, yes, Friday the 21st. Do I have that? Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote two of them. The CML Fall Classic. Sorry, I have another meeting with CML on the 21st, sorry. So again, that's the 19th, I apologize, and it's at 4 p.m., I believe. And then TYC Pizza opened their doors last Wednesday. It's a very small, soft opening, but if you all are hungry, go get a pizza. All of them are $9.99, and we're looking for critiques at this point before we have our ribbon cutting in maybe a few more weeks. But they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
They're very good.
You liked it?
Pretty good, they're very good.
Okay.
He was supposed to bring one tonight for it. I haven't seen no pizzas.
Well, again, the hours of operation right now are Tuesday through Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I agree, Joe. I agree.
I told him last week, a couple weeks ago. he said,
I'll try to find some, maybe we could do something for when somebody has a...
Probably if they sell them raw, they probably wouldn't taste good.
Yeah. They're taking bake, not baking bake.
Right?
So, we had our monthly ARCA board meeting in Holland, so we got plenty of windshield time, which was great. And I think we solved most of the world's problems, if not the cities. So. But anyway, it's an important meeting. We kicked off the whole budgeting process, looking at projections for year end, and the numbers look good. For the first time, it looks like we will be budgeting a small increase in consumption, and it's just because the other communities are doing so strongly, including Trinidad. So we're already seeing improvements in our cost of funds, as that translates down to cash balances and net income. And that's as a result of the refinancing we did with Goldman Sachs. I know you're all probably wondering what's going on with Tri-State. There have been discussions. I don't know if they're going to head in a productive direction. Mike, Greg, please comment if you want. It's getting more complicated, and some of the refinancing savings that they were going to experience with their credit may or may not be there. So, and also we still have political issues with the city council. So it could happen. We don't know. We're going to supposedly get recast pricing was on the 21st, I think. of September.
One of the challenges is ARPA benefits from what's called WAPA rates, the Western Area Power Association. And that's power that comes from large hydro dams, that kind of stuff. They want that allocated per member city somehow, which has become very complicated.
Yeah, especially since Trinidad is a winter peak and every other community is a summer peak. So that means our allocations just it's very difficult to sort out. It's very easy when you just spread things out based upon what your consumption is, but when you're consuming things differently in different seasons, it just becomes another thing to argue about. But yeah, it's a problem. And WAPA is not going to change on that because what they said they don't want to do is be seen as selling this to Tri-State for them to resell it to us. And of course, there is a markup on that because they would be taking care of the LRP debt, even though it has been refinanced. It's still more expensive than would be market. And it's just like we lost because there's no functioning asset associated with it. So it's gotten a little bit thorny, and then combination of things. I think it's going to be difficult. So we'll update you next month.
Didn't you tell me that same?
What's that? Oh yeah, time will resolve deals. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Trustee.
So my phone's been blowing up on this vandalism issue. I think it happened on San Luis. A bunch of vehicles were hit, nothing broke into, busting out windows. And then I guess again last night it happened off Arizona. They actually went in cars. I don't know. I was hoping Chief Glorioso would be here tonight so I could try to get some follow-up so I have something to tell people. But my phone is really blowing up on this. I don't know what's going on. Greg, if you could find out something for me so I can tell people, I would appreciate it. As we all know, the Blues Fest, Pre-Fest Blues Fest just happened. I think everybody knows. It's a pretty big deal here in Trinidad. So I'm guessing close to 3,000 at the Pre-Fest. Numbers were definitely up down there. I haven't followed up with the businesses. I know we're around 5,100 on the field. I think we're kind of pushing capacity. Definitely, we're seeing numbers as high as they're going to get until we have more motels. But we're definitely seeing an increase of people here for 2 nights with us expanding this deal. Motels were booked for 2 nights. I think they sold out Friday night before Saturday night sold out. We're checking with local motels. So I think it's a great deal for Trinidad. We got some new deals and some stuff to bring to the city this year. Now I got on my Blues Fest hat, not city council, that will be talking with Mr. Sund, and I'm sure that he'll follow up with city council about some of our new ideals that me and Mr. Campbell have in mind. So we've started booking next year. We've got one act booked and offers out for headlines, so it's already started. It's a lot of work. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a great event for our community and a feather in our cap, people, and nothing but good reviews from everyone.
I'd like to echo Rusty's response there, that I went down one night down on Blues Fest and I sat there and had a good time, listened to the music, talked to a few people I haven't seen in a couple of years, and it was really a great event. Saturday I went out to the fairgrounds and I kind of watched the rodeo a little bit and sat there, and there was quite a bit of a good turnout there. Also, my daughter had a stand out there that for the autistic children, which done real good. They done really good this year. I was really proud that the community and everybody backs. We're working hard for the autism some more to try to find a place, and they could get some teachers down here from Pueblo and Colorado Springs. So keep your fingers crossed because that's working. And also, I'd like to say is that I want to say, way to go, the community of Trinidad, because of our water. Last time I talked to Mike Valentine told us that water was coming up in the lake, and we're doing pretty good, so I advise our citizens to keep on and watch these restrictions. Don't break the restrictions. We're doing good. We're holding our own now, but we don't know what November and December brings, so I do see some people still out there at 8 o'clock at night watering and the water going down the street, and I guess the concrete's gonna grow or fill with potholes, but, you know, other than that, I'm really proud of the city of Trinidad. I'm proud of what our community does. Rusty and everybody that put on this blues festival downtown that night, the pre-fest or whatever, and everybody was having a really good time, so Trinidad's coming up. I'm really proud, and we just gotta keep that leg in the door there and keep pushing, so. Tara, keep pushing.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
The only item that I have is, you know, I attended the community day down at Pinyon Canyon, and Karen was there too, and of course we had an opportunity to eat the old MREs, which was.
Oh, that was a good treat. That was a real treat.
Nice.
But it was just, you know, it's kind of nice just to sit there and talk to some of the troops over down there, so. Greg?
We learned this morning that we neglected to put approval of the entertainment district event for Articade before you. And so, because you have a special meeting with the military on the 6th, would you mind meeting 15 minutes early to consider the entertainment district application?
Booze and troops. That's a.
September, what is it?
It'll be the 6th.
Thursday.
You have a meeting at 3.
Thursday at 3
You
o'clock.
have a meeting at 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
we're asking that you meet at 2:45 to consider this. Is that okay?
We'll have a small agenda item.
Just the one thing. And then we met with Johnson Controls today, and they would like to make a presentation during a work session next week if possible, because it could take a little time. And at 5 o'clock on Monday the 10th, does that work? I will look at that. If you want to check your calendars, if you could let me know.
What time?
5 o'clock on Monday the 10th, and it would be a presentation on their investment grade audit and the project recommendations from staff, and whether to move forward or how to move forward with this project. It's a big project.
You know, I do have some, I forgot, just in case a reminder, I will be leaving the 14th and gone through the 25th, so anything we have going through that time frame, I will not be here.
Okay.
All right.
So if you could check your calendars on that, and then I called Councilmember Donato and answered his question about the disposal of demolished buildings on commercial, and we did waive those fees. One of the reasons for that is all of those buildings have been on notice and order for, sounds like decades. And so realistically, if they hadn't been purchased recently, we would have ended up tearing them down as a city and disposing of them, and probably putting it as an assessment on the property, but the chances of recollecting that would have been pretty slim. So that was some of the reasoning for doing that. And then we only got confirmation, I think, from 2 or 3 of you that are planning to attend a dinner in Pueblo for CML. So if you would like to attend and you haven't, let us know. Please call or email to Brittany so she can get the reservation. That's it.
Mayor, thank you. Council members, just one thing to report on this evening. This is non-city related, but if you read the Chronicle News recently or you have other sources of information, you will know that the Judicial Nominating Commission for this judicial district just sent to the governor's office 3 names for both Bruce Billings, who is retiring as the Los Angeles County Court Judge, and also for Chief Judge Claude Appel, the District Court Judge for Huerfano County. So each one has 3 names. And I was on that commission, so anyway, that's all I have.
Item 11, motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll.
Yes.
Thanks for the picture.
My pleasure, sir.
Nothing like the last minute.
I was in bed.